Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. We are slowly getting ready. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official Rockfish Games stream. I am your host, Eric. I am not joined today by my cohort, my buddy in crime. All things that are incredible in his banter. Gary is not here. He is resting because he had an incredible time with Gamescom with all of you. Thank you so much for everybody who came to our booth, by the way. My goodness, did we have some generated noise there? And a lot of great conversations. Even though I can't say that it was great seeing you and shaking your hand, the team, I can actually absolutely say and just shout from the rooftops how appreciative we are for you to not only be supportive of this whole process, to come out and meet us, to try the stuff, all of those things. It is huge. Very much appreciated. So today we are going to have a pretty healthy look as to the Leviathan and the Dreadnought items. That's interesting how I worded that. Leviathan and Dreadnought. Why didn't I just say Titan? Interesting. So strange. Maybe we'll talk about that when we get up into this experience. So, yeah, through the course of this stream, we do these streams every other week. They last for 2 hours. We open it up for questions of all kinds. Whether you are new and you're just looking at what the specs are for the game, or if you're like a hyper veteran and you're wanting to precisely calculate something ridiculous and obscure, all of the questions in between are more than welcome. Of course, we know that there's going to be questions about the DLC. In fact, today I encourage it. So if there's something that you are curious about, ask. And maybe I'll be able to give you a completely full 100% answer without skirting the topic. Maybe. Anyway, I also, yeah, let's get into it. Enough talking, let's go. So this is my little interceptor that I prepared. Very quickly, you'll see that it's got some stuff on it that we need to talk about. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you won't. But welcome to everybody. Nice healthy dose from both YouTube and Twitch today. Goodness, so good. Insert, would you like to know more? Good, I like it. Saw the new DLC trailer and had a whale of time. Oh my gosh, I didn't start with the DLC trailer. I didn't start with it. Guys, quick pause. Let's watch the trailer. Just real quick. It'll be nice and simple. We'll be right back. The mic is muted, I see. Awesome, cool. I'm glad that I have this thing, just so you guys know, I have this thing where it automatically swaps my vocals whenever I change scenes, and it just doesn't like to work, I guess. So we're gonna not use that. It's supposed to work, it does. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to manually mute and unmute myself. My apologies, guys. Let me just recap what I said. Basically, Imogen was just talking to us about side missions. If you are new and you're like, oh, I've never seen that before, that's great. That's actually awesome, because EVERSPACE 2 is a pseudo open world arcadey shooter. Lots of RPG elements going on. And so there's lots of things to get lost in these environments. That's why I was pointing over here. Lots of things to do in over 100 handcrafted locations, which is why I went out like this. Just giving you how expansive the game is going on, all right? And honestly, like, I don't know why we keep adding to it. It's ridiculous. But we do, and we're excited to talk about more of this content with you. Today, we are going to be highlighting some of the new equipment that you are getting inside of the Dreadnought and Leviathan missions. So, whew. Yeah, automatically, yeah, play it cool. No, seriously, like it worked a couple times when I first put this in, into my OBS and all that type of stuff. I'm sure somebody out there, one of you guys is a streamer, and like, oh yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about. I don't know why it doesn't work sometimes, so yeah, screw it. I'm not gonna use it anymore. I'm just gonna manually mute and unmute. But I digress. I wanna show you cool new stuff. So we need a location to go that has fun stuff to do. Volatile goods. That might not be bad, but let's see. There's a lot to do in Abaddon. Let's go over here. Let's show you some stuff. So for the astute observers of our audience, you already noticed that I've got a number of new things on the ship. If you are new, you're not gonna notice, but just starting off, like I realized I left the home base and I didn't even repair my armor. Well, that's silly. So now I have to go through the effort to take out enemies to restore my armor, right? Or I could just use this new consumable called the Armor Repair Kit. A nice, simple addition, does exactly what you would expect. Fully repairs armor. Now you can have this item on the fly in the heat of battle. You need your armor up, no problem. You just hit a button and boom, done. Just like this. Wow, incredible. Guys, this is the year 2024. We have a button that heals your ship. I know it is crazy, but legitimately, we are very pleased with this simple yet very effective new consumable that, remember, is craftable as well. So you'll have your nanobots, which you can craft. You'll have this, which you can also craft depending on what build that you're going for. You will be able to do a lot with that. Or it might not seem relevant at all. You might look at that and be like, psh, okay, whatever. Show me new stuff. Okay, I will. Let's find some fools to drop, and I'll show you something new. Now, I am level 18 here for one intentional reason, and that's just to kind of talk about and highlight when the Titan content really starts coming into full focus if you are starting a new game. Where are all the enemies? We got no enemies. I need test subjects. Let's try somewhere else. And a lot of the Titans DLC content really starts to show up around level 15 and 16 when a certain mission chain is completed. Surely this one will give us much better results. And so for those of you who've been asking, like, well, do I need to start a new game to experience the content? Hopefully this is already a straightforward answer. Not necessarily, but possibly. Depends on the type of gamer you are. If you like to experience the content just infused in from the very beginning and seeing how it affects the entirety of the game space, by all means, you're gonna have a blast. We are detecting enemies, but I'm not seeing any. I must be close to a turret. Aha, there's a turret. An outlaw missile silo. We're gonna do this. Nice. Nice and gooped. That's the way we like them. Neat. So, for those of you who are completely new to the franchise, this is the goo gun. It was a very popular item in EVERSPACE 1, actually. And you all thought you saw it in the trailer when we had a deep dive led by Gary himself. You were like, oh, that's the goo gun. Guys, that wasn't the goo gun. This is the goo gun. This is it. All right? Y'all seeing things. And man, let me tell you what, it is nice and goopy. It's very incredibly similar to what you would expect from EVERSPACE 1, in fact. So for those of you who are like, oh man, I love my EVERSPACE 1 content, give it to me. I think you're gonna enjoy this stream a little bit, actually. But yeah, that's what it does. It goops, and as it stacks, it actually ends up doing more damage upon exploding. So let's just, let's look at what it says, and man, we have another legendary item equipped at level 18. That's really strange, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, all right? So Vicious Intent Bioweapon has a healthy bit of kinetic damage and energy DPS. Granted, that's kind of hard to see because we're in the middle of leveling. Don't worry too much about that. Let's look at the details. Ejects blobs of goo that stick to surfaces and enemies and explode after 3 seconds. Enemies are slowed by 5% and receive 3% increased damage for each blob stuck to them, stacking up to 10 times. So for those who might struggle with math a little bit, that means that you can slow them down up to 50%, and you can increase the damage done to them by 30% just by gooping them up a bunch. And it doesn't necessarily only apply to the goo gun itself. Vicious Intent, as I should be calling it, pardon me, Vicious Intent will stack that up. And once it's stacked, you could swap to another weapon, you know, kapow kapow. Like you could use something like the Endo Pulsator, which we did show last stream. It's a very nice pulse laser that deals a remarkable amount of energy DPS and restores its energy whenever it breaks shields. But yeah, the goo gun is back. That's the short of it. Vicious Intent. You're crying right now, says Slurry. Oh my gosh. Should have a corrosive effect. No. The goo is not corrosive. The goo is explosive. There's a difference between corrosive and explosive, all right? And we don't have to clarify explosion damage because in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking at weaponry, generally speaking, there's explosions that occur in most of those. So the distinction really comes from that you can stack these globs on your foe until they just violently explode. And it's nice. It's pleasant. It's nice. I'm seeing a lot of chatter. That's great. Happy to discuss more about it. You have a feeling he's not going to use the other legendary? You mean this one? The one that I just swapped to? I have a question. Have you played the DLC for EVERSPACE 1? Because if you have, this might look familiar too. Let's find something to use it on. Man, we launched right out of the gate 2 legendaries? What? We're not even 15 minutes into the stream, folks. 15 minutes in. 2 legendaries already? How many more legendaries are going to... I'm probably going to show you the 2. But I really want to kick things off. I'm being very serious about our showcase today, all right? We are not playing around with this DLC. Not only do we want to create things into the game that we desired from, you know, a long time ago, but we've told you countless times that we wanted to add more content from EVERSPACE 1 into EVERSPACE 2. And Inferno is absolutely no different there. You know, we can light this thing up. This is probably kind of a bad example of it. Be better on the ship.
This could be a sticky situation here.
Yeah, I get that. I get that, Adam. Here, let's try to goop it up. Just see what it does to the shields. Because, I mean, that's a lot of goopy stacks. But that's a strong shield, yeah. It kind of works in conjunction, though. Gooping it up. This is a good... Okay, I like this. Where you can see the added damage from the gooping. We can almost break that shield. Oh, we did break the shield. My goodness. And we almost died. That's fine. We can at least get our armor back. Nice. Nice. So I'm not sure where all the spaceships are hiding here. I'm flying around just trying to find some foes to drop, and there's nobody showing up. If they're gonna keep being like this, well, I'm just gonna spawn some in. Dang it. Let's see. Where's another good location? Here we go. This one's good. This one also should have a nice showcase. So straight out of the gate, guys, we have Inferno. Spaceballs, the flamethrower. I love it. I love it. Absolutely enjoy that comment. Product placement. That's right. Hey, I hope I did not miss much. Dude, we covered 2 legendaries already. And don't worry about that. We're fine. Seriously, where are all the enemies? My save has been got. Tell you what, development sometimes does weird things to saves. So we're gonna create a little playground here, all right? We're gonna create a little playground since they appear to just not be out today. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna treat you. I want you to see how this all works. Okay, we're back. I've kind of set up a little scenario with some enemies. Legitimately not sure why they're not showing up. Of course they worked off stream. And then it doesn't whenever we get into it. So, also wanted to show you this one really quick since, you know, we just talked about Vicious Intent and how it's bringing back the goo gun. Now let's talk about Inferno. This is also a bio weapon. I'm going to give you guys a guess. Do you think that this is something you could acquire more from a Dreadnought style mission or something from a Leviathan style mission? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. We'll see who's correct. My guess is going to be 99% of you has got it down. So, what we have with the Inferno here is that it emits a stream of superheated plasma that sticks to surfaces and enemies, dealing 40% additional damage for 2 seconds. So there is a lasting effect with this Inferno. Hopefully we don't die. Let's get in a little bit closer by doing a new item here. We're gonna use our smoke screen, which this is gonna give us a brand new opportunity to get in close to be effective. So where you would normally find something of a struggle in regards to like trying to get into your targets, like really put damage on them. What we have here is kind of an opposite case. So long as we stay close, I'm gonna use it again. So long as we stay close, the enemies can't actually see us. This is kind of like a reverse range modifier. So generally speaking, if you're far away from an enemy, they can't see you. But here, if you're close up to them, they can't. If they're far away though, you're still gonna have a little bit of a problem. So ideally, this new consumable is something you want to use in close range, and then you're protected. So strikers out there, you striker fans who have that close quarter perk, and you're struggling with your survivability maybe, yeah, use this. You should be fine. Also, we need some health, so let's just hover right here. That's interesting. How do we heal? How do we heal? That's unique. What's going on there? Well, let's talk about that too. I'm just throwing everything at you guys. We have just gotten started. We've already talked about 2 legendaries. We're talking about 2 consumables that have been added. And now we need to talk about yet another thing that we're bringing to the game. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. We healed because of a new set that we have called Symbiosis. What in the world? We're just giving you everything. I don't know why. We're incredibly generous. It's ridiculous. So let's talk about it. The Symbiosis set is one that makes you heal, as you probably suspected. The main territory for this particular set comes in play through its set bonuses, of course, but each item does have a full-blown capability on its own to assist you in some way, shape, or form pertaining to health regen most of the time. So as an example, which is more focused on weapon and boost energy, right after saying most of the time it's health, we have the modulator here, the impulse modulator. And this restores, or 40% of incoming damage rather, also restores weapon and boost energy for the respective amount. So the more damage you take, the impulse modulator converts it into direct energy for you to use. I would like a raise of hand from all of you out there who've been playing the game. You're like having a really good time. Maybe you're in the mid game, maybe you're in the late game. You're like blowing stuff up. No energy orbs drop. You're out of energy and you're like, crap. I can't shoot or I can't boost. I need to get out of the situation. Man, I wish I would have had that teleporter device or that energized boost, but instead I went super aggressive and I have nothing but the warfare devices. This thing is gonna help quite a lot with that. This is something that helps infuse your ship with that energy in the precise moment you need it, because it's when you are taking damage. And now you're able to get your weapons firing back or boost free. And that's just this item. We haven't even talked about the set bonuses yet. Right? Let's move to another one though. The suffusion field. The suffusion field. Repair 10% of all hull damage dealt as shield hit points with each hit. Nice. Nice and straightforward. That one's easy to read. That one's easy to understand. Really good. I like it when things are just like very, 1, 2, buckle my shoe. It's clean, and you guys get it. Like, this is very much a regen, a health-focused buff. The entire set. So good. I look over and I see the question, does Eric ever get tired? I feel like he is always running at 120 energy. I actually have energy injectors just lined up right next to me, infusing me during these streams. It's wild. Yeah, it's borderline addiction, but yeah, just energy injectors all the way down. Yeah, that's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. So this suffusion field, nice little boon, nothing crazy. Let's go over to the exoskeleton. Repair per kill applies to the hull so long as armor is full. Oh, nice. Okay. Now we're starting to see some more case uses of something like the armor repair ability through the new consumable. If, you needed to get your hull up really fast for some reason, but I digress. What we have here are new ways for you to build yourself up, including your hull, as you saw from, these as well. So that way you don't have to like constantly be crafting nanobots per se, and you don't have to constantly be going back to a station and, going through that method, especially for all of you who don't play Bomber. All the bombers out there are like, what? I've never had to worry about this. I just heal automatically. Yeah, that's a benefit to you. But no, nay, I say to thee. Now everyone has that opportunity. Even more so than the autonomous set. Well, I mean, to a degree, I suppose. They each have their caveats. That's why there's 2 of these sets. Let's look at the last item in the symbiosis set here to really top things off for you all to understand. These are called transfusion missiles. Transfusion missiles to top off the set. These are 4 items in the symbiosis set. Transfusion missiles here. These missiles drain 5% shields, armor, or hull hit points each second for 8 seconds while repairing your ship for the respective amount. Now, you'll notice that there's no damage on this whatsoever, and there's reason for that, because this is percentile based. Okay, so these missiles, in a lot of ways, don't really care about what level it is. They care about what level you are and what level your opponent is. The greater your opponent is, the better these missiles are going to operate. And they can be very nice. Or they can be really bad if you're not being smart about it. So it really comes down to how you are utilizing this equipment through the Symbiosis set. So those are the 4 items. I haven't gone over the set benefits yet, but I want to try and use a transfusion missile just to get my health up a little bit. I destroyed all of those flying enemies. Oh wait, here we go. We got a turret. It's not gonna be much, but here, we'll just shoot that missile. Ow. And you can see my hole and my shield's going up. Look at that. And the reason why my armor isn't going up is because he does not have any armor. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna shoot this. It's gonna plonk. Did I miss? I must have missed. Well, he sure didn't. Let's try that again. Where'd you go? Now you're hiding. Oh, there you are. Okay, that's it. So now you can see my hole is completely repairing up. And this would look different depending on what the enemy has. Again, so if they have armor, we would be restoring our armor instead. Okay? This missile, it's a lovely missile, and it works in just about any build, not just the Symbiosis. But it is a life-giving missile. And you can see, like, after using 2 against a missile turret, it's still not dead. So it doesn't necessarily do a tremendous amount of damage, but the health regen that it provides can be the difference between you making out of battle or not. I must admit that was the first time I've ever gooped a missile. Wasn't sure how effective it would be. Plasma burn, get wrecked. Delicious. Flame broiled turrets, my favorite. Okay. So let's talk about the set bonus now. We've seen the individual parts, so what's it do as a whole, right? That's what you want to know. And I teased that a little bit in the combat segment a moment ago. So let's talk about the Symbiosis set itself. Okay, and we're gonna use these tools in a couple of other situations. And if ships decide not to fly in, dang it, I'm gonna make my own. It's gonna be fine. Sometimes devs build, you know, they do weird things. When you have 2 of these Symbiosis items, destroyed debuff targets will leave behind a Mending Spores field for 3 seconds that restores 10% of hull and armor over 3 seconds when flying through it. Now, I do want to put emphasis here, even though whenever I did see it, I stopped inside of it and you saw me slowly get a little bit of health. If you missed that portion of stream, don't worry about it. I'm explaining it to you. You don't have to stop in it. You can just fly through it. When you get the effect of flying through it, it applies to your ship and it will do what it's doing. Okay, so it's not something where it's like, I'm in the middle of combat, I need health, I can't stop here. That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. So just fly through it. Fly through it, you get all the benefits, all right? The deed is done. The third, meaning 3 item set bonus, Mending Spores will provide 2 random buffs and remove previous ones, okay? So buffs like these, we have Excessive Force here, which I have for my perk being used. Excessive Force right here. This is a buff that we have right now. So what the Healing Spores would do, so long as you have the set of 3 or more, is that it gives you 2 random buffs. Sometimes these buffs could be movement speed. It could be weapon damage, right? It could be any number of small buffs to your ship in the moment. It could be damage reduction. So sometimes you might get something that's, you know, really good in the heat of the moment, or you'll get something that's actually incredible. And it just applies itself to you for about 3 seconds, okay? That's what you get with a 3 set bonus here. Last but not least, we have the 4 set bonus. Destroying an enemy will refresh active timers on buffs granted by Mending Spores. So the main functionality here, you've probably put it together because you're gamers, you understand how it works, is that if you are constantly attacking and healing yourself and taking out foes, you're going to be getting these boons from whatever these Mending Spore fields are. and they're not going to go away. It's just going to stay on your ship. You will retain it for the entire battle until all of your foes have been dropped, provided you can take each enemy out within about that 3-second time period. A good time to point out everything that you do see is technically still work in progress, since we have a little more than 2 weeks. Numbers and figures can change. I might be explaining all of this, and 2 weeks from now, I might show this again, and it'll be like, oh yeah, it was changed to 5 seconds? That's crazy. Who knows? I don't know. There's a lot of things that can change, but we're very happy with how things have been working out right now, which is why I'm able to show a lot of this to you guys. Hopefully that's pretty obvious. But yeah, I also keep on asking those questions. I know that I haven't been looking at chat because there's a lot to talk about today, and I'm very excited, very eager to highlight a good portion to you all. But your quotes are getting cataloged by Lee. Thanks, Lee. And we will be cruising through those questions. Actually, now is actually a pretty good time to take a quick breather. So let's, I'm gonna find a quick port. I think we're gonna go to Noah Damaris. I think that's where we're gonna go. That seems like a good place. And if we keep not having enemies, guys, don't worry about it. Oh, excuse me, I don't need you to talk. I have a job to do. I'm streaming for the fine people at home. I love you, Hive and Adam. Your banter truly makes me smile. But not now. All right. Yeah. Dove builds, man. Am I right? None of them are spawning. How dare they? Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So let's get through some of these questions that we do have being cataloged, and the questions are being cataloged across YouTube, Twitch, even Steam. We don't get a lot of talkers over there, but if you're there, hello. We'd love to have a chat. This is content that's coming to the game soon. If you got questions, we'd love to answer. We also have you over on Facebook, so don't be shy. I do think that the music is going to stop whenever I click. Oh yeah, it is. Dang. So let's start cruising through these. There's quite a number of them, so we're gonna get through a healthy number, and then we'll get right back into some content and show some more stuff. So there's a tremendous amount of stuff to show. We're not gonna show it all. I want to be very clear, but definitely eager to highlight as much as I can. So the first question comes from Jack Savage over on YouTube. Will there ever be any legendary consumables? Fun fact, we were tampering with this idea to see just how effective it might be. And sometimes it works and it doesn't feel good. Honestly, it just doesn't feel good. So playing around with the idea, it hasn't proved as effective as we would like. So it's definitely something we considered, but I would not count on that anytime soon. We want those legendary items to really play their part right out of the gate on the main ship. Consumables that are legendary would also probably need to be craftable, and requiring legendary crafting ingredients for a consumable that's a one-time use. There's a lot of territories there that if we were to speak at length on it, we would be here for a long time, but the short answer is we don't have plans to move in that direction. But that's a great question, so thank you for that question. We have Solarine on YouTube asking, oh goodness gravy, hang on. Can we not, there we go. Awesome. We're gonna hover over one of these legendary items as we are. There we go. Answering some more questions. So we got Slorine asking, how different will a game be after Titans drops as opposed to now? You know, the main game, not the added new missions. You know, I think this is a more than fair question. It's not gonna change by much. I think the important thing to realize is that because of the infusion of new items, it is going to alter certain play styles as you're building up through the story. And there's going to be a lot more opportunities to do some funky things, I think is a good way of putting it, especially if you choose to go through those stories. Because remember, you don't have to be level 30 to start experiencing the new content. And if you go earlier, it's actually possible to acquire legendaries like Vicious Intent and Inferno at around this level. Like it's not going to be barred from you. It's designed to be given to you through that new content. So you can start doing that as early as around level 15, level 16. Okay. And I also need to point out, because this is a good, important question that kind of harkens it. Not all of the content exclusively drops from the Leviathan and from the Dreadnought. You're going to see this content also drop from random sources as well. Well, not all of it, but you know what I mean. There's going to be general stuff that's been added into the game, and then there's going to be the specific mission chain items that you can acquire. Okay? And I think that's more of what you're kind of maybe asking for, and there you go. That's the response. It's not going to change everything too much, but it will absolutely diversify your possibilities as you are leveling through the game to make things a lot more interesting. If you are already level 30 and you're like, oh man, I just really want the new content, that's great. You do not have to restart your save if you don't want to. I'm a strong advocate of restarting saves because that's just how I am, but by no means is that the correct way to go about this. You choose the way that you need to approach it, and it works great. That's why the content unlocks at level 15 and 16, as opposed to is exclusive to the in-game level 30 content. We have another question from Tycho Murner. It's either Tycho Murner or Michael Murner. I don't know if that was a typo. But regardless, we have from YouTube, would Rockfish Games consider doing multiplayer player versus environment for the next EVERSPACE, or is it strictly going to remain a single player franchise? Dude, I love this question so much. This is one of those questions that unfortunately just isn't relevant right now because our focus is entirely on Titans DLC, and we've also expressed that we're working on another large DLC coming out next year for EVERSPACE 2 as well. Okay, so that is what's on the plans right now. Ask that question again, and like next year, maybe that can be something that we can talk about. Okay, but yeah, for now, EVERSPACE 2 is really staying the course. But I love your curiosity. I do appreciate it. From Space is Awesome, after the update, will we be able to access Leviathans during or after the main story? Yes, absolutely. Fred Spec Vet, with the eye on the news DLC, did you guys do any work on the enemy AI? With the current AI basically, so we have tweaked elements behind the scenes of other operating procedures. I would have to specifically ask Marco on AI because I don't actually know. I know that there have been a number of quality of life improvements that we have infused into the game, and maybe that's something that we'll be able to show and talk about a little bit. We've been adding little things here and there. Let me just show this. Let me just show this. This is something that's so simple, and a lot of you would never even notice this, but the beam laser actually got updated. So if you look at the stream, you see how hot it is there, and then we move it. This is actually new. This is way better. Like, for those of you, yeah, okay. I see some chat members are like, whoa, yes. This is absolutely new. Something that has not been in EVERSPACE 2. We completely updated the beam laser and how it lasts. And you guys know that the beam laser is nothing new. So I hope that this, just expressing this adjustment, just showing this, kind of gives you a sense of how this update, the DLC, is not just a matter of you're getting exactly what the DLC offers and that's it. No. We're absolutely updating various systems, tweaking, modifying. There's going to be bugs that are going to get squished, and probably some that come out of the woodwork. That's the nature of how this works. So naturally, if anybody is curious, when the Titans DLC drops, there of course will be a patch for the base game. Obviously, to get the DLC content, you need to purchase the DLC. But a lot of these foundational updates and improvements and quality of life things and all of those, that's coming to you for free. We're not gonna withhold that exclusively from the DLC. That would be ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are we gonna see the Leviathan today? We'll see the Leviathan in 2 weeks. All right? But with that being said, I want to stoke your curiosity. Sorry, it's not. If you haven't seen this, let's just take a quick breather and highlight this run of Gary talking about the Leviathans. Again, this is for anybody who hasn't seen it. Quick little segue, and then we'll be right back to answer more questions.
EVERSPACE 2 Titans introduces Dreadnought and Leviathan in brand new storylines. Today, we dive deep into the belly of the beast in Leviathan. Looks like we're not alone down here. The many stomachs hold all sorts of surprises, from small critters to cultist drones, parasites, and strange creatures who've made this place their home. We need to shoot carefully, as stray rounds can agitate the Leviathan and end our adventure early. Navigating between areas requires a mix of force and finesse. To progress deeper, we'll sever strands, clear infected areas, and avoid dangerous digestive systems. Pilots can extract rare crafting materials to create powerful new weapons. A successful journey inside ends with the discovery of a valuable pearl. Once the Leviathan questline is complete, pilots can continue exploring for lost treasure and rare materials. But come prepared, no two visits will be the same. EVERSPACE 2 Titans launches September 16th on Steam, GOG, Xbox and PlayStation.
It muted me when I toggled back. I see the issue. All right, not today. Well, not this time, I should say. Anyway, but there you go. There's a good sampling of the Leviathan content. And if that stirs some questions from you all, by all means ask. I will answer as thoroughly as I possibly can, all right? Because again, this content is coming to you in only 2 weeks and some change. That's it. Guys, we are getting close. It is wild. It is wild how close that we are to all of this. So let me pull up a couple more questions. There's a lot of them, so thank you all for your patience. We're cruising through a lot. Cyberdyne T800, are you allowed to say with how many achievements the DLC comes? Yeah, there's going to be 10. There were some individuals who have caught the postings of them over on Steam. It's not something we can really hide. It's something that we have to plug in there to test. So the names of them haven't been revealed, so you don't know how to acquire the achievements yet. But yeah, there will be 10. For the achievement hunters of you, the DLC will add a nice number of tricky little details on that side. Daniel Matisse and Space and Awesome both asked, is there a new solar system? No, there is not a new solar system here. New solar system is not planned. The DLC here, the DLC's focus is all about these two Titans, okay? It's all about the Dreadnought mission chain and all about the Leviathan mission chain. And it's not so much just the mission chain, there's also repeatable missions that you'll also be able to enjoy, especially in that level 30 state, to keep going after that specific loot from those particular quest lines. I love that question, but no new solar system. That might be something for the future, though. Can we see the Endo Pulse Laser again? Absolutely! It is my pleasure to show you guys all the things. And there's new sound design for basically most of this stuff. I think some of it still needs to be plugged in. Like, come on, guys. Like, it's work in progress. You understand. But we do have some really cool stuff like this. So, Gero's been hard at work on bringing to life all of that side of the game. And, I mean, it probably sounds biased, but I think he's doing one hell of a job. I think he's doing absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah. It feels good. It feels good. I mean, listen to this. Oh, wait, this. I don't know. So fire just sounds good. And for those of you who are like, but it shouldn't have sound in space. Oh my gosh. Whatever. We're here to have fun. All right? Get your logic out of here. This is a video game. All right? We got a question from Jack Reed and Nocturne Noble. Is there going to be more ship cosmetics like new wings? Also not planned. Goes right in with the last sort of discussion we had, where the focus is on these Titans. That's something that is very much a toss-up of something we could do, but maybe we won't. there's a lot of factors that come into place. So that's a great question to ask in the future once we get past Titans. Yeah, there you go. We have another question from Sloreen. What's the range on the goo gun and does it lock on targets? It does not lock on targets per se, but the range is 800 meters, so it is a closer range item. Kind of goes hand in hand with the smoke screen a little bit, because you know the smoke screen completely makes you invisible to everything within 1,000 meters, and then you can just goop the heck out of them, which is kind of a fun sort of interaction. Also, the Inferno, the plasma thrower, its range is 1,100, and it has lingering effects. And what I mean by that is when you have that hit a target, it will stay on them for about 2 seconds. It doesn't transfer to other targets or anything, but it does, like, as it's floating out in space, it will attach to something, which is why that range is 1,100, even though it looks like it should be shorter than that. You can kind of see that there where it's lingering. About to start my first Nightmare playthrough. Got any tips, Benji Fidji? Dude, I love it. I don't really have tips for you other than just go hard. That's the best way to play. I actually am doing another save. I have a Nightmare playthrough for you guys for the stream that I've been doing that most of you know about. But I actually started yet another one. Let's see. Yeah, I started a new one. A new save again, and it's Nightmare. And you can see there from my stats, or maybe, hang on a second. There we go. Now you can see the stats. You can see there just like how much time I've been putting into it. I've been having so much fun. Oh my gosh. And from a technical standpoint, I started this new save with the Leviathan content and the Dreadnought content. Granted, it's incomplete, so there were parts of it that weren't really. Anyway, that's irrelevant. My point is that it's a lot of fun restarting games. I do this a lot, very much enjoy it. I would say that one of the hardest parts of doing Nightmare is when you are reaching that level 10 territory. That's going to be where it's like your test of, do I understand this game well? Because it's going to rely on you to truly maximize your capabilities as a pilot to bring everything together. If you've just been slapping items on at random, especially if you were distracted by a chat from a stream and that's what you had to do to keep things moving forward, it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. But if you are able to rein it in and put a lot of effort on what it is you're putting on your ship, you're going to have a lot of fun with how powerful you truly can become. How replayable are the new contents? Very. Simple question from Shibenger from Twitch, but yeah, they're very replayable. To kind of give you an example, I mean, I'll absolutely show one in the next stream, but for now we're still tweaking some things. We can't show it today, sorry. But to give you a sense of it, it's kind of like how you know, when you're flying through Superlight and you get those random events to just go dive into. It's kind of like that, but focused on the Dreadnought or focused on the Leviathan. So you're going to have the opportunity to do these over and over and over and over and over and over, effectively infinitely, once you have completed the mainline mission chain, which will make sense of how that all works and why. When are we getting a sale for the game? That's a fun question, which generally speaking, I'm not allowed to answer. I need to check and make sure we're not currently on a sale. No, we're not currently on a sale. But from a very general standpoint, because I can't straight up tell you. Okay, like legitimately, I can't. There are some problems with that. But what I can say is that we do go on sale in kind of like those regular intervals. So if you've caught a sale that we've done prior and you missed it, you're not gonna have to wait a super terribly long time, probably. But the best way to know is if you wishlist the game. Not only does that help you know when something shows up, but it also helps us in how we're reaching our core audiences. So it's a win-win. Definitely wishlist us so that you don't miss it. Woo! Still a lot of questions. I am going back to home base to probably grab some new stuff to show. And yeah, with no enemies here, we'll definitely change that. Don't worry. We've got all the dev commands. We're gonna make sure that the showcase goes well today. Don't you worry about that. When are we getting, oh wait, no, excuse me, just answer that one. Feel like shining any light on internal conversations at Rockfish Games about constantly adding more sets? Is there such a thing as too much of a good thing? Yes, there is. Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely there's too much of a good thing. This is something that we constantly discuss from the level of just game design as a whole. Something that has been in discussion since early access. With every single thing that we create, we go, but do we need it? Is it fun? But what about that other thing that it's doing with? What if a player does that thing? These are the questions that we constantly ask. This is Game Dev 101, by the way. This is how games are made. Like, if developers are not asking these questions, focus on your foundationals, okay? Any devs in the chat, focus on your foundationals. You gotta make sure your systems are intertwined and working with one another, because if they're not, they're separate systems, you gotta get rid of one of them. And that's how we are approaching all of the new items. If items are moving into the game and it's making something else basically worthless, especially if that other thing is fun, it has no place. So we either alter it or we remove it. And that's how we've adjusted and implemented many of these new items and set items into the game. Much like you could probably see from the side of Symbiosis, and how this operates in a similar way as the autonomous set, which repairs you over time, so long as you're in combat, versus here, where it's a little bit more demanding of you, but it also can heal you a lot more, where your actions against your opponents will leave behind healing spaces that gives you momentary boons, while also providing that similar style of healing in a way, right? And who's to say you couldn't find a combination of both those sets to create something even more powerful, which is a core part of our philosophy when we're incorporating new things, new ideas, new concepts, whatever it is so that we are not just filling the game with stuff, but rather enhancing what the game has. That is the overarching mainline goal, okay? That was a massive response for you there, but I think it is an important one, which is why I spent that time. It is very important for us here at Rockfish to ensure the stuff that gets added has meaning to it, okay? All right, there is a sale on PC right now through Humble Bundle and GOG, and on Xbox right now. Thank you, Lee, for sneaking that in. Really do appreciate it. Whew! Yeah, so there is currently a sale on Humble Bundle and GOG and Xbox right now. Very good. Love how you snuck that in, Lee. Good stuff. Lee is being a champion co-host right now. Thank you so much. Everybody give Lee a shout out. He's in the chat helping you out. So good. So good. Love it very much. We are going to take a little bit of a breather. We've answered quite a few questions. We're going to answer some more here in a little bit, but I want to get into a couple more things to highlight and showcase. So question for you guys, would you rather, let's see, how do I want to phrase this? This isn't all of it, by the way. Would you rather see something that's a bit fresh to the EVERSPACE universe, or do you want to see something that, like, makes you veterans of EVERSPACE 1 very happy? Well, which one do you want? Do you want fresh, or do you want that, like, sort of, I don't want to call it nostalgia, but like that traditional, what do you want to see? Let me know, and I'm going to choose something for you. I'm already seeing nostalgia pop up. That's great. But you go ahead and let me know. We're going to think on what we show. And while you're answering that, I'll answer one more question just because. Does Eric still actually like playing the game? Oh, I think that was answered when I showed my new save. Yeah, I like playing the game. It's Yeah, it's a lot of fun for me. You know, and obviously everyone's going to have a different opinion of like certain aspects of the game and here and there or whatever. And, you know, that's fine. But I don't play the game because I have to, even though I technically do. I play the game honestly because I want to. I really like playing this game. It's fun. So, and if that's not conveyed in my body language and the energy that I have, I don't know. I am creating an incredible facade for everybody in these streams. All right, I'm seeing a ton of nostalgia and just a couple of fresh. So I am gonna go with nostalgia. So let's go ahead and grab these cluster mines and bring them over here. Let's just take them for a spin. Just take them for a spin. And again, if we don't get like a enemy that spawns in for some silly reason, you know what we could do? Actually, this is fun. We showed this last week. Let's just do the second Dreadnought mission. We're gonna dive in directly into the Dreadnought mission, and we're going to use some cluster mines. Some cluster mines. And for those of you who are like super nerdy like me, you know that the cluster mines in EVERSPACE 1 were also made by Vo Industries. Same guys that produce it here. Let me just show this real quick. Vo Space Industries on top of that, slapped onto it. In the description down below, it says, inspired by an old design by Dr. Vo's, these proximity mines are packed in loosened racks that spread after launch. Like we make sure that our lore is as sound it can possibly be. We honor our world building. We acknowledge the things of the past. We're gonna bring that to the forefront. So let's sneak in here. Let's do this mission chain. And if no enemies spawn in here, that'll be hilarious. And we'll do the cutscene too. Why not? I'll treat you guys. Here you go.
We're sending over the last load of parts. Don't shoot. Secured. That's everything you asked for? We're good, right?
Nearly. Patel, we need more action footage from the drones. Moderately lethal, if you please. And mind the expense.
Oh, I can do lethal. Fighter squads, engage. Secondary batteries, fire at will. What? Wait! Stop! You don't need to kill anyone.
Let's get shooting, Rosalind.
Cardenas sent you?
Yeah, Rakima. They knocked down my engines.
I'll get you back in the...
Oh. It's a shame I kind of missed. Let's burn this guy since he's an elite.
I didn't sign up to fight a damn battleship.
We fight whoever GNB says. Reread your contract.
All right. Now look at all those beautiful mines laying around. Ah, gotta love it. This is gonna be perfect for this segment. Hope GNB doesn't get mad at me. Oh wait, where's the other hijacker? You went over there.
Fighters do they have?
Excuse me.
If you gotta ask, you don't want to know.
Excuse me. Excuse me. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Oh, there we go. That was a good one.
I need a system reboot.
Very nice, very nice. So some of you have already made the astute observation that the mine cluster from EVERSPACE 1 was exclusive to the gunship. This is a great talking point, actually. This is a hugely important talking point for EVERSPACE 2. We had a design philosophy shift from EVERSPACE 1 to EVERSPACE 2, okay? EVERSPACE 1 as a roguelike formula had intentional restrictions for the player to operate with each of the different ships, okay? So in order to find the end, to complete runs, you were only given certain things that other ships couldn't have in a lot of cases, okay? So there were these intentional restrictions. At EVERSPACE 2, this game is much more open to your interpretation and how you are addressing the situations that unfold, allowing you to maximize your exploration and your combat needs accordingly, okay? So there will be items and equipment that are probably better suited on certain ships than others. We've seen that especially with, like, you know, the bomber and secondaries, which I think that this would be a great choice, of course. We see that with the scout and railguns, right? We see that with the striker and basically any close quarter combat weapon. Like, the list goes on and on and on, right? There are certain tools and devices and all of those fresh things that are more applicable on certain ships than others. But we allow complete freedom in EVERSPACE 2. So you choose, even if it doesn't quite make sense. You like your scattergun on your scout? Okay, you do you. It's great, it's fine, it's perfect, all right? We love seeing those wild constructs come from you guys and your builds. It's always a pleasure seeing it, and it's no different here. The cluster mine is absolutely capable of being used on any vessel up until you're out of them. Because just like actually in EVERSPACE 1, you don't actually get a lot of them.
What do you think you can do against a battleship? You won't know until I try, Patel.
Oh, we're not out. We have a couple more. And also keep in mind, we are level 18. These are your basic superior cluster mines. No prefix. Not a lot of other additional bonuses on it. Just does have the chance to refund while firing, which is nice. It's magnetic and deals 20 bonus damage against Okar. A little unfortunate in this particular situation, but I digress.
How good? How many fingers am I holding up?
Goo! Oh gosh. Man, I don't know about you guys, but like, I mean, I know that you couldn't like see when it happened, but I still remember when we were discussing the development of this particular update and bringing all these new items to you. And many of you also know that like we have really been pushing to try and bring EVERSPACE 1 content back into EVERSPACE 2. And when we found a way to do it, we're just like, yes, now's the time to shine. It fits, the theme works, it's time. And gosh, I love the goo gun. It is just a pleasure. Everything from how it works to how it looks. It makes me so happy. And I mean, freaking, come on, like Inferno? Gosh, I know, I'm nerding out here. You guys have to deal with it, okay? I'm sorry, but gosh, dang. I love what we've been able to accomplish here for you all. And I'm so excited for you to get this into your hands in just about 2 weeks' time. Gosh, dang it. Absolutely wild to me. So, something else that I have that I actually haven't shown yet is a really cool little device. I just threw that ship over there. That guy all the way over there. We have a little device, or not device, I'm calling it device. It's a consumable. This is called the Radial Repulsor. I feel like we talked about this in the last stream, but I want to highlight it regardless. This is a new consumable that requires no device slotted element whatsoever. So it can be useful in a pinch. Fairly easy to craft. And all it does is within the 500-meter radius around your ship, it ejects this shockwave that pushes everybody around. So I look over at chat. It's great to hear you nerding out, dude, man. I want this in your hands so bad. It's not ready. But yeah, being able to showcase this to you guys and what we've been working on, like this has been a long time freaking coming. So really looking forward to seeing how you guys experiment with all of the new stuff, because it is a lot of fun. Did I just find a bug? Is there a hitbox there? There's a hitbox there. That's fine. Like I said, we're getting out some more of the kinks.
There's a weld in the armor here. Is that what you need?
That'll do nicely.
Goop.
I'll lead you over here with me. Got a Hyper-V cannon, hella range, but I gotta spit her up at
So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to complete this mission chain, and at the end, as you guys saw from last stream, there will be containers that drop that have equipment that is exclusive to the Dreadnought chain. I'm going to open those and see what RNG shows us what we can reveal next. All right? Maybe it's something simple. Maybe it's something really cool. But we'll find out together. RNG is fun like that. Oh, yeah. Gosh, that was... Oh, mind clusters. I'm so glad to have you back. Jeez. You know, all of this, this is ridiculous. All of this is making me want to just like spool up another EVERSPACE 1 run too. I'm just like, ah! Just, ah! Feels so good.
Amen and out.
Ultra disabled.
Oh, sorry, my face is off.
Get up. Everyone jump to the fallback point.
Come on, we've got the firepower to blast this place to dust.
What would that gain us? We have sufficient footage. Execute.
That was a local jump. The interstellar drive unit we disabled in Zarkov remains offline.
Careful with spoilers, Hive.
We
Jeez.
still need to destroy the Minokawa's second drive unit to strand them here.
Ain't no place hereabouts to fix the one you busted.
I'm glad you guys showed up. They said if we gave them what they wanted, they'd leave in peace. What did they take?
No. Silence. We'll give more story details later. So, very good. So there you got to see a lot of Vicious Intent and Inferno and a lot of mind clusters being used there. A lot of fun there. I didn't really use the Endo Pulsator too much, but we did last stream. So if you're curious about the Endo Pulsator and how effective it can truly be, I do encourage you to spool up the stream from 2 weeks ago. No, from last week. It was just last week, guys. It was a bonus stream. It was a bonus stream from last week. It does have key moments chaptered in on YouTube. You can actually go find that. And the segment where the Dreadnought mission is being played, which is exactly what I just showed here, I'm using that Endo Pulsator almost exclusively, and it's like never running out of energy. It's pretty awesome. So if you are interested in seeing that, you can. But yeah, so now we're going to open some of these containers and we're going to see what's in them, right? And we're going to be doing this while we're answering questions. So let's see what we get here. All right, I wasn't expecting that, but we're going to be showing the Together We Stand item. Another set? Another set? Are you kidding me? All right, let's go ahead and pull that in. We have this. Endo Pulsator, nice. And what's this? Scale guard. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. That's fine. All right. What do we have here? We've got a cargo unit. Ewan's escape. Oh my goodness. Okay, game. I get it. We got some smoke screens. That's nice. All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna add these to our smoke screens, and we are going to talk about another set that is given through the Dreadnought mission chain. Goodness gravy. The stuff just keeps coming. It's ridiculous. There's too much stuff. We only have 50 minutes left to highlight random stuff. We kind of need more time than that, but okay. So let me also pull up more questions. So I'm going to be answering questions from here, as well as highlighting this new set. Let's go ahead and start with XR's Ingenuity. Who is XR, you might ask? So what this does is mines deal 15% increased damage. And then the Together We Stand set, which is unfortunately cut off down there. I can't seem to scroll down. I don't know why it's not working. That's unfortunate. But apparently when you have 2 items in the set, while under target lock, the ship can deploy a grabbable decoy that redirects the incoming missile. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So if a missile is shot at you, you deploy a decoy automatically so the missile doesn't hit you. Interesting. And that decoy is grabbable so you could throw it at an enemy target for some lulz. All right, that's interesting. That's interesting. All right, very good. What was this other one? We have Ewan's Escape. And once again, you might be asking yourself, who is Ewan? 30% increased boost speed while under missile lock. He probably likes strikers, and yes, this does add to the striker's passive, should you get that one as well. Unfortunately, I can't scroll down to see the rest of the set bonuses. Jeez, that's such a shame. I guess we'll have to talk about that one another time. But kind of cool that the game decided to showcase a couple pieces of this at least, just to get a better sense of more of the content coming your way. That's pretty cool. So let's answer some more questions as we continue navigating this beautiful space over here. How come we need all these new heals, new crazy enemies? It says Stone Bender. I mean, it really depends on your playstyle. It depends on how you like approaching games. Some people really like heal builds. Some people really just like those hyper aggressive, make everything explode builds. Some people like the super tanky builds. There's tons of different ways that gamers tend to like playing their games, and I'm sure you're no different. I'm sure that you could go through a slew of different games in your head right now and be like, oh yeah, whenever I'm playing this game, I play like that, or I'm playing that game, I play like that, or sometimes in that game, I also like playing this other way. It's no different here with EVERSPACE 2. We want to provide these opportunities so that you have the opportunities. Like, we want to make a lot of different fun routes that you can take. So no, you don't need the new heals, but they can serve to do some fun stuff for you in the heat of the moment, especially when you get 2 random buffs through the set bonuses. Any requested quality of life additions? Shoot, I wish that I wasn't on the spot answering this, because I would love to explain like the really cool ones that we've done specifically from the community, but I have been so focused on the Titans content this week. The irony is that I know that we have, but I can't even think of them right now. So ask me again. Ask me again on the Discord. I would love to follow up. Oh my gosh, that's only subtly embarrassing. But hey, you know what? I hope that being able to highlight all of these other things is serving you well. Oh goodness. Any chance of another supporter pack, more cosmetics? There's no plans. You know, I say that, and there wasn't any plans to even do a supporter pack to begin with, so who knows what Michael's thinking. I don't know, he's a crazy man. You know, what do you think, Lee? Is he crazy? He's not crazy? Oh, he's very intelligent? Yes, that's true. He is very intelligent. I would never say anything ill of him. He's a wonderful human being. Truly, Michael is like genius level when it comes to freaking CEOing a game company. But I digress. Coming to the straight answer for that is sincerely, there's no plans. There's no plans. Just wondering if enemy interdictions will come back in the DLC from Tested Bubble. There's no plans. Enemy interdictions were actually something that we tested in the prototype. The prototype of EVERSPACE 2, and it didn't feel good. Like, we put it in there because we thought, oh, we want to have more engagement as you're like traveling through the systems, and it did not feel right. It felt like it was slowing everything down. So no, there's no plans. There's no plans. But thank you for the question, Tested Bubble. David Gier, are some item sets better on some classes of ships than others? I assume that they would be. For example, you know, you're operating in a Vanguard. If you were to go with, you know, the Symbiosis set, I'm thinking that it's probably not going to be as beneficial just because you're a lightweight ship and you're not going to be taking that much damage through your evasion. And if you are taking a lot of damage in your lightweight ship, then there probably needs to be an adjustment from the player's end in order to not, because that's how those ships are designed, is to not take damage. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't find a use out of it, because maybe you get shot twice and you're down to like 1 health, then this could absolutely come into play. So yeah, there's going to be absolutely beautiful territories for you to take these new items and equipment. And I'm sure some of you can already think of some as I'm just delivering these. I mean, shoot, when I pulled out the cluster mines, there was somebody in the chat who said, isn't that exclusive to the gunship in EVERSPACE 1? And it was like, yeah, so you're already putting it together, where if you put the cluster mines on the bomber, which is going to be the most equivalent thing to the gunship in EVERSPACE 1, aside from the gunship. My point is, there was no bomber in EVERSPACE 1. Stop it. Anyway, this item is going to absolutely appeal to all of you players who have been using a lot of corrosion mines before, but now have a much greater splash damage capability, and very much done intentionally. It's not replacing what you've done before, but it is a new opportunity. And it can be used, of course, on any of the different ships. I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit there, but the overall point is that some of them are going to feel better in certain ships than others. Yeah. Are there any plans for more in-game activities, especially resource sinks? Sort of, papaya, tango. So as I've mentioned before, within this DLC, you're getting these 2 new mission chains that are going to send you on a wild goose chase across the DMZ and accomplishing tasks in, you know, varying detail. And it will also allow you to acquire in-game loot by redoing these missions, right? As far as resource sinks go, this has also been a point of I don't want to call it contention. It's been something of a topic that we have to be very gentle with when we're approaching EVERSPACE 2. If we are requiring a resource sink, then that implies other things are happening. But to answer your question straightforwardly, there is a desire to avoid having to drain the user of the things that they have. There are new resources coming to the Titans DLC. Let me say that again. There are new resources coming to the Titans DLC, and so we've been showing off new consumables, for example, that can be crafted. So there's definitely going to be things that you're going to acquire through certain locations, as Gary has explained in his Leviathan showcase. But as far as credit sinks go, or resource sinks, I don't think that's not really the goal that we have going. Because especially if we have players that are returning to the game after they've played a while at level 30 and they've got 50 bajillion credits, it's almost unexciting to just get everything immediately. And yeah. So no, we're not. Lee also poked me and reminds me of a really cool thing as well. For those of you who had no idea that we make an art book, it is a massive art book, by the way. Freaking, I have it. Hang on. Let me just, 1 second. Let me just grab this. It is massive. We do have this art book. It is currently on sale on the Amazon US site. This thing is seriously, it's a lunker. It's got all these details in it. Maybe we'll have a Rockfish story time. We'll just start from the beginning. Table of contents, introduction, factions, Grady and Brunt, and there's lots of stuff to discuss about the contents of this book. It is very rich, high quality material. We spent a lot of time. I mean, look at how thick that is. You could seriously hurt somebody throwing this at them. Oh my gosh, and if you have a glass coffee table, be careful setting it down. This thing is, gosh, man. That's got some spoilers, by the way, for those of you who haven't finished the story. But yeah, it's 20% off right now. Yeah, there you go. It's freaking, it's awesome. Like if you're even like, yeah, it's, I don't know what else to say. It's I don't know how to convince you otherwise of how ridiculous this thing is. It is incredible. All right, let's answer a couple more questions and then we're gonna make some more enemies. And I think we have enough time to show maybe a couple more items too. Let me go back to the home base. Any new devices? I certainly haven't shown any new devices. So nothing to show on that front. That one comes from Alligator Dude. Pretty straightforward answer. We still have a lot of questions, so whew, let's keep going. Black Omega 9, you've probably been asked 1,000 times by now, and that's totally fine. We are here to help communicate the needs of the community surrounding what we do. That's why we do the streams. It's great. No worries, man. Would it be possible to implement locking equipment bonus effects, like if you have one you really like but don't want to lose? This has also been something that we've talked internally about what that could look like, how that would work from a technical standpoint. The short of it is that is not something that we are planning to do. I'm not going to say that it could never happen. Okay, we absolutely hear the community's request for this because a lot of you have actually made this request. It's been building up over time. Every now and then somebody says, I wish I could do this thing with items. So we get it. We do. We understand. We also have very specific tasks and priorities that we've got to accomplish in order to produce this content through the vision we have for it. And if we turn our heads to say, hey, let's focus on these other things that are trickling in, that can break a lot of development chains. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that there aren't any plans for something of that caliber. Your voice is very well heard. Even all of those others that have been asking about this, we know that's something that you would like to see. We'll see, I guess is the best way that I can respond, but there are no plans. What are those gas giant whales in the teaser then? Baby Leviathans? No, they are called cloud grazers, and you will find out more about them in about 2 weeks and 3 days. It'll be great. Awesome. From Tested Bubble, I'm loving the repeat individuals asking questions, by the way. Love it. Don't be afraid for asking multiple questions over and over again. We got Tested Bubble saying, it's a proc gen creature dungeon? Referring to the Leviathan deep dive. Let me just say this. Lord Jabu Jabu is like, man, did you guys play Master Quest, like Ocarina of Time Master Quest? You know how it changes the dungeon? Woo! Oh, that's great. We've got somewhat of a niche game, and I'm hitting an even nicher audience as part of this small stream right now. Dang, but you know what? If you know what I'm talking about, if there's one person, please be one person who knows what I'm talking about. The short answer is yes. The short answer is yes. You're getting a proc gen creature dungeon. So every time you go back into a Leviathan, it's not going to be the same. We've been having a lot of fun exploring what that looks like and how dynamic it can be with every run you do, so that they don't feel samey. Sorry, Snot asked, does it mean the temporal nano recompensator is being changed because of the armor repair kit? No. If you want to have the temporal nano recompensator and combined with, say, autonomous and combined with symbiosis, and you just want to be an absolute life-stealing fiend, by all means, go for it. It can be very powerful in that sense. Conversely, if you wanted to protect yourself in a little bit more healthy capacity, you could also use the quantum entangler here too. So as you're taking damage, you just let them, because you're going to be restoring your boost energy, your weapon energy through the symbiosis set. Then you're also going to be able to dish out a little bit of damage and heal in that process. So they basically kill themselves and then you're healed up. You know, there's new ways to kind of approach situations on that front as well. But I can't go through all of them, right? Because there's a freaking ton more creations that have been made. But we hope that you have fun exploring these once we are able to give it to you. Does this mean, oh wait, we just read that one, sorry. Bearded Frog, are we going to get another attempt at the racing challenge today? Gosh, I suppose we could, but the trade-off is that I show less Leviathan content and Dreadnought content. I'll leave it up to you guys if you want me to do a racing challenge or if you want more content. Is that the logo of Vos Industries there? Yes. Is that a new thing from the update? This is a new, it's a new classic. It is new in the DLC, and it is very much honoring what we had created in EVERSPACE 1, which was an item made by Vos Space Industries, used by the gunship, and now it is available effectively for all to use here. So is there ever a chance of Maurice coming back? You miss him, says Tested Bubble. Maurice. Maurice. Man. Does somebody want to tell him? I spy somebody who has not been pursuing the side quests in the game. Will there be a divided we fall set? Flory, no, you doofus. Seaweed roll. Do you have any plans to add more background chatter lines? The current ones are starting to get repetitive. I mean, yes, actually we do. We love being able to highlight various interactions between Adam and Hive, as well as other unique characters that are totally being added in the DLC that are kind of fun to talk to, as you just saw in that freaking Dreadnought mission chain. So yeah, we want to have a little bit more of that stuff. Oh, I need to be in here so I can highlight another item. Silly me, I was gonna start flying around. Let me just go over here casually. So yeah, no worries about that. It's definitely something we saw, and hopefully you also heard that there is new voice lines being added here. I'm also gonna just grab this really quick. The secondaries resupply refills 50% of the currently selected secondary weapon. For those of you who watched my teaser video several weeks back, I actually had this on the ship itself, alongside the smoke screen, actually. I teased both of these, the imagery of them, in the teaser. So that's a fun little item, just highlighting that. Boom. What a nice way to refill on the fly. All right, so next question comes from Benji Fiji. Would love a ship part supporter pack. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I'm just gonna tell the team to do it. That's really cool. No, that's a great idea, but there's no plans. There's no plans. That would be awesome. Matthias has been doing some freaking amazing work though, on like all of the ships. I mean, I hope that you guys have been enjoying the new ship modules for lights and heavies that came out with the Incursions update. And for those of you who haven't played EVERSPACE 2 in a while and you're here in the stream, that's really cool. There's more content for you through just infusion of updates from earlier this year as well as last year, and ship modules came with that. But as I have said prior in the stream, there is not a focus of ship parts for this particular DLC. It's a cool idea. You should post it in the on the social thing, the thing where you talk to us so that we can see it and other people can talk about it. A forum, that's what it's called. You should post that on the Steam forums or on our Discord forums, and we can have an added conversation to see how many other people would be interested in that. Because I think it's cool. That's cool. I'm validating you, but I also need to again say one more time. Just because I'm validating the idea does not mean it's going to happen. That is nowhere even close to a promise. Okay, I that just has to be very clear. All right, even though I like it, does not mean it's going to magically happen. Okay. So, cool. Bearded Frog says new catalysts. Yeah, there's a few new catalysts. That is something that we could talk about actually. Yeah, there's a couple more. Yeah, there's like this one. Got this catalyst auto collector. So resource nodes within 800 meters will just automatically be collected over a short time. It is applied specifically to the cargo unit. You just slap it on. You never have to worry about resource nodes and mining them. You just fly by them and they just get sucked into your ship. That's kind of a nice one. Very utility though. Maybe we could have something that's a little bit more gusto. Something like Catalyst Solo that increases the weapon's kinetic and energy damage and fire rate by 35% so long as it is the only installed primary weapon. So quite a toss-up if you were to use something like this. Yeah, there's a couple new catalysts though. So that's a good question. So I'd love to show you more if we have time. So we got a couple questions from, oh, the names are cut off. Hang on a second. What's it say? Cheryl and Carson Adventures, welcome to the stream. Will I use that everything if I'm level 30 when I go into the new game? If you start a new game, you start from scratch. If that's your question. You start a new game, you start from scratch. It does appear that there have been folks in the chat who have answered you already on that, but I'm just confirming that with an official response. I kind of already answered it a bit, but just kind of, let's be short about it. If you like starting a new game when fresh content's been added, do a new game. I love doing it myself, and I think that it works really well with our Titans content. The Titans content specifically starts showing up around level 15 and 16. Okay, so we'll infuse your game significantly beyond that point up to level 30. At the same time, if time is very precious and you can't be having freaking developers demand that you finish their game first just to get into more content, that's fine. You know, whatever. Your opinions are great, okay? You all have them out there. Super duper. If you want to just continue your save at level 30, the contents will infuse itself in a way that makes it applicable. All of the mission chains and all of the content will also be level 30. You won't miss a beat. So again, it really does come down to how you want to engage with the content. If you want to start a new game and see how it changes things up in that mid-game to late game, awesome, do it. If you want to just get to the new content because you've got thousands of hours in your level 30 runs and you've min-maxed freaking every single rift run and reliquary and all of that stuff and just want to like build on it, keep the save. It's all good. It's all good. Both ways work. PS5 player, will everything be on the PS5 platform? Yes. Yes. The intent and the intent is to have, I'm doing a quick research just to make sure I don't misspeak at all, guys. Yeah, there's very much the goal in mind to have a simultaneous release with our content launch. So whenever Titans content comes out, we want it to be available on all platforms. That's the goal, that's the plan. And as at this time, I'm not seeing anything that says otherwise. This is the most exciting screen looking at ship slots. I'm sorry. Here, let me go back here. I'd just like to have some teasers to look at. Oh my gosh. But Lee, if you have any additional clarity on that, go ahead and feel free to poke that in. But I am rather confident the plan is to have it, like everything that I'm reading about seems to indicate that, where we have a simultaneous release. So very good, very good. We have another question. Will Leviathan be... Okay, yeah, simultaneous release. Thank you for the confirmation, Lee. I just couldn't find anything that was updated. Like, the last notification on it was like 2 weeks ago. We've been busy, guys. We've been crazy busy. But yeah, simultaneous release. Will Leviathan be accessible during or after the main story? Yes. Hopefully that the last sort of comments pertaining to how you can start a new save or continue on answers that already. Yeah, it can be either or, however you want it to be defined. We did talk about the power oscillator set last time, so I'm gonna hover over this one so you can kind of read about it while we go into another question from Flory. Question to the missiles: since the damage is percentage, does that mean I can these level 18 missiles will still with level 13 as effective? Yes, that does mean that. So because it is percentile based, the level of the item is actually not nearly as relevant here. The most relevant thing is that you have it and you use it effectively. It's actually like one of the only items in the game where the level doesn't quite matter as much. And once again, just because it needs to be said, all of the stuff that you see is work in progress. This might get tweaked and changed, all right? It's very possible that it could, maybe it won't, but that's currently how it operates in our system. Sorry, not sorry. Will we ever gonna see Maester Throng again? Yeah, you know, I love this question. And, you know, for all intents and purposes, it does make a lot of sense that you have some more stuff like a Leviathan where Maester Throng would have, you know, probably something to give. If those of you who don't know, Maester Throng was a scientist from Kodo 5 who aids the clone in EVERSPACE 1 and unlocks the ability to create stuff like the plasma thrower, the goo gun, and many other really cool things. Now, as we can see, we both have these items here and there's no Maester Throng to boot. I'm not saying he's going to show up. I know some of you think, oh, he's teasing it, he's basically confirmed. Guys, that's not what I'm doing, okay? Maester Throng's an awesome character. We also move in directions that are very applicable to EVERSPACE 2's feel and how it all comes together. So I can't rightly say if he's coming to the game or not, all right? It's a great question, though. I miss him. He's my buddy. Slorine asks, as a follow-up to my previous question, oh, how do you feel about non-set items now? don't they feel a bit useless now? Now, this is a very, I can give a very opinionated response here. And I know that that's kind of what you're drawing out. Let's look at another power oscillator item just to get your wheels turning out there. The short answer to this question is it's so dependent on the player. If you are more casual or hardcore, where their discrepancies to a degree almost don't matter. I'm not saying they don't matter, but the emphasis of what we do whenever we're infusing more content into the game is to ensure that we're creating those new opportunities, like what we talked about in the prior bits and answers in the stream before. So it's far less about finding something that's like replacing. It's far less about finding something that's just better than. There is a very strong intention to having these things work in tandem with one another, and you might be able to see some of that even with these non-set items in the once the content comes out, especially through these sort of powers and abilities through single items that then get even stronger through the set benefits that they receive, right? So it might be important, it might not be. It really does come down to the player that you are. And I know that you're asking me for like my personal opinion. I don't necessarily think it's that relevant here. Like it really comes down to the player. It really comes down to the player. If you enjoy a weapon, use it. If you want to absolutely min-max your build to the absolute extreme, you're gonna find certain items are actually better than others. And that's okay. That's okay. So, very good. Cargo Jacker says, how many new legendaries are there? I showed 2. I gave you 2 legendaries today. Dose. And I hovered over this on accident. Oh, crap. Well, dang it. Man, all right, fine, whatever. Let's look at it. We have another mine here. Brood mines. What is that? What is that icon? That's ridiculous. Upon detonation, the mine releases a creature swarm that seeks out and attacks nearby enemies. What? Let's look at it. I cannot answer how many legendaries there are. That is a secret. Secret. I got a secret. I need an enemy to shoot at. Oh my gosh, guys, what's crazy is that I was at the home base and Outlaw jumped in. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. I've never seen that happen before. This is supposed to be like a safe territory so that nothing happens. But here he is. So this is a brood mine. What do you think's gonna happen? Whoa! Whoa! Oh! Oh, hang on a second. Let's get a look-see in here. Oh my god. Ooh. Oh. Okay, all right. Oh, we're trying to get closer. What in the? They are everywhere. Goodness. Look at that. That's pretty wild. You know what this reminds me of? Somebody know what this reminds me of? Nanoswarm, there it is, Cargo Jacker. Obviously, these are not nanobots. These are not autonomous, semi-intelligent machinations. These are actual little critters. And these guys are eating on this ship. I was actually hopeful that I could get a better shot here. Let me see if I can. Oh, whoops. Let me see if this one will do it. Do I see any that are doing it? So the reason I'm doing this is because we actually have a really cool little animation whenever they get close enough that they burrow into the ship, but I'm not seeing it. But yeah. But as you can see, a single mine. I dropped a single one. That took out half of his health, and that's going to do damage, obviously, in AoE. We'll do another one. Get him! Go get him, Tiger! Look at that. Nice and delicious. Yummy! See you later, guys. Thanks for the help. Nice, simple, easy to use. It's just more of that fun stuff, you know? More of that stuff that it's just nice to have. Was this possible before? No, not really. We have, you know, obviously mines generally do AoE damage and they're useful in certain regards and others and stuff. But now we have a means to like really change up the formula. Because these brood mines, like upon detonation, they release a creature swarm. So there's a detonation amount of damage that they do, and then they're doing damage over time, right? And maybe even depending on some of the bonuses that they get, you might see newfound potential in how great that they can be. So yeah, there we go. There's the brood mines. Another fun little item to highlight. We've covered, oh gosh, guys, we've covered so much. We've covered 2 different legendaries. We've covered at least these 3 secondaries. We've covered a new energy core, a new shield, a new plating. We've covered a lot of new secondary consumables. Oh my gosh, guys, it never ends. There's more set items beyond what we've got here. Like, wow. This is ridiculous. This is nuts. Oh my goodness. But yeah, if you want this September 16th, it costs you $40. Just kidding. It costs you $30. Just kidding. Half that, it costs you $15 to purchase this DLC. It's going to expand a lot of new territories for you to explore. Again, if you're doing a new game, if you're doing that pathway, it's going to hit at about level 15, level 16. But this content is absolutely available if you've already played. You're waiting in level 30. You're just like building stuff up. The content will unlock. You'll be able to dive through it. You'll be able to replay it. It's going to have a lot of fun stuff for you to find and collect. And guys, it's still like there's still so much more that we could talk about on all of this. Oh, geez. There's so much. Where to farm legendaries? My friend, rifts. Rifts are going to be delightful for you. If you're speaking on like to get specific loot, like the Dreadnought loot or the Leviathan loot, those are replayable missions in and of themselves. Very similarly to how Radiants are exclusive to incursions, you're going to have exclusive content with the Leviathan mission chain and the Dreadnought mission chain. So it's all intentionally designed in that capacity, very similarly to how certain sets only drop at certain systems, and all of that fun stuff. There's a method to our madness, and we're still tweaking how that all drops as well. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Did I miss it? Is there a sneaky question that snuck in? Oh, I do see a sneaky question. Nurston, is the damage from the new missiles a percentage of max shield ++ or current shield ++? I'm assuming you mean percentage. It is a percentage of the max shield. That's how the transfusion missiles work. So it's going to be the max amount. So if they have 500 shields, but their max capacity is 8,000, you're not going to just get that little portion from the 500 they have. No, you're going to get 5% of the 8,000. I can't do quick math, but I'm sure somebody out there is going to rattle off because you're smart. Good for you. You keep it up, champion. But that's how that operates. It takes from the mass pool, not from the what's remaining pool. Great question. Great question. Glad that I can clarify that. So yeah, these transfusion missiles are, they might be a little too good. They might get nerfed. You guys don't. So much can happen between now and release. Oh my gosh. I don't think they're gonna get nerfed either, guys. They're really good. Just because I have seen the question come up a number of times, generally I don't answer it, but I do want to clarify for anybody who is sneaking in and asking, PvP, multiplayer, co-op, all that type of stuff, never was in the plans for EVERSPACE 2. We are single-player minded, single-player focused, and so all of the content is under that umbrella and is very intentionally done so. So there's no plans to bridge a multiplayer component into EVERSPACE 2. That is a very taxing process if we were to go a route like that. We're talking like at least 8 to 12 months of development alone just to do that. That's a complete pivot away from our initial vision. So just want to make sure that all of you guys who are like, this would be so great in multiplayer. I mean, yeah, probably, but it's not what we're doing. It's never been part of the vision, and very intentional about keeping this a single player game. So who knows what the future out there holds, but right now in our focus with EVERSPACE 2, with Titans around the corner, tell you what, we're really happy with the results. And it seems like you guys are too. So. All right, I want to find, no, I want to get some more items. Just keep sneaking them in. How about a new catalyst? How about a new catalyst? Let's look at another catalyst. Let's see, we showed this one, we showed this one. How about, I don't want to show a repeat. This one? Yeah, this one's nice. I like this one. Here's a fun one. Here's a fun one. The evolution catalyst. Let's look at this thing. It says, after 100 kills, increases damage by 10%. After 300 kills, increases damage by an additional 10%. After 1,000 kills, gain an additional bonus attribute. Wait, am I reading that right? So if I have an item that has like 3 attributes, it's just gonna randomly get an extra attribute on it? Is that correct? Yes. Yes, Eric, it is in fact correct. Oh, wow. That's kind of interesting. So it rewards you for the more you use it. I could see that being pretty effective on certain items. Okay, that's neat. Thank you for sharing that with me. You're welcome. Good stuff. All right. Let's get back in the docking bay. Sounds too OP? Oh. You think that one's OP? Oh man, let me tell you what, the process of figuring out how this stuff needs to fit into the game has been a lot of fun, including the ability to absolutely break everything that we know pertaining to the rules of EVERSPACE 2. But the important part that you should be walking away from this is that we want to inject the game with a lot of fun. And if I am not revealing that to you guys in all of this stuff that I'm highlighting, I don't know what else to tell you. So much of this stuff is designed to just have fun. Like who uses a goo gun in space? Who's like, that's the best idea ever. But is it cool? Does it have some pretty strong damage that you could combine with other tools and abilities? Heck freaking yeah. And also, it's a callback to EVERSPACE 1 as a huge bonus. Like, that's what our goal is with all of this content to you, okay? Like, this is not just oh, we wanted to add some more content because we're charging people money for it, so we have to, like, put time and energy into it. No, this is like, we love this stuff. Like, we're having so much fun, like, building out new ways and shaping new formats for you to fly your player ship into new spaces, into these new experiences, and to also up the ones that you're currently having that you currently enjoy and just elevate that even further. That's the goal here. And I feel like so much more of this that I haven't shown. There's a couple that maybe I could. That's why we do what we do here, okay? Like, this is not a simple matter of doing this because we have to. We're doing this because we truly want to. And it's the same reason why we put so much love and attention to detail in both of our prior updates before this, right? The same is said of this. This experience that we have been cultivating is very much in line with that. So, yeah, that's how it be, folks. That is how it be. And everything that comes along with it is just, gosh. So, and to that, we also have gone a little bit crazy internally. We're like, let's add this and make it be just incredible. And then it was, and we're like, we should probably scale that back. Like, we have to make those adjustments and whatnot, which is why I keep saying there's possible chances, work in progress, adjustments, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully you guys understand that. But again, at the end of the day, it has to be fun. It has to be fun. And if that does mean some of the stuff is maybe a little bit broken, okay, that's fine. But generally speaking, we do want everything to have a chance to shine, all of these different tools and abilities to have its place. We don't want you to just find the perfect loadout, plug in the one item that you need in every slot, and then be done with it. that's one of the big reasons why you can't have a legendary in every single slot. That should probably make a lot of sense. Like, the legendaries are very intentional in what you choose and how you're combining it with the rest of your build. So all of these foundational game elements are why we do what we do and why we're bringing to you the stuff that we are. Let's pick out one, maybe one more, maybe two more. Let's see. And again, this isn't all of the stuff, but there were just a couple that I thought would be really good ones to highlight. Gosh, that one's really cool. You guys want to see a cool one? You guys want to see one that's a lot of fun? It's just cool. It's probably a little broken. It probably needs to be scaled back, but I'm gonna do it. All right, we're going in. EMP mines. I've been showing a lot of secondaries. All right, I've been showing a lot of secondaries, but it's okay. Let's dive into this. So I know that your initial thought is, oh, it's an EMP mine. You shoot it and it explodes like an EMP effect, right? Of course, that's exactly what it does. Wrong. Incorrect. That is not what it does. I want to show you what it does because it's freaking cool. I need some enemies. Freaking dang it. Dang it. 1 second. Enemies, get here. I am showing the good people what they want. Okay, I spawned in a lot of enemies. I might I might die. If I do, just feel free to laugh. Cool. All right, we're back wanting to use these EMP mines. Check this out. Yes! Ah! Sorry, I get really excited for this one. I like this one. Can you tell? Oh my gosh, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Ready? Here we go. Oh! Oh, I love it! Look, they just float off. They're like, oh, it's screwed. I'm screwed. Ah! Gosh, I love this one. I love this. A little bit more up. Oh, gotcha. That sucks to be you right now. Pain. Actual pain. Here, let's heal up a little bit. There we go. Oh, we got armored as well. Nice. Good, good. I don't know why I thought I could die. Not with this set. Oh, yeah. Goodness gravy. There's two things that just comes to mind when I see this. So ironically, you know, there's a line in StarCraft 2 for a vessel, and he says, "Thor is here," which I think is very applicable here, except more on the lightning side. It just, gosh dang it, I love that so much. And it just, like, everything that it does, like, you saw the sheer amount of chaos that created, and it makes me so happy. Because it's not just a, oh, you know, it's gonna explode. Pooh. EMP effect. No, nay, I say to thee, we did some cool stuff. I love the way that it looks. I'm really proud of our team, if you couldn't get that picture in your head yet. Just the way that it comes together, and it feels so good. It feels so good. And once again, this goes directly into why we do the things that we do and why we're adding the things that we're adding. Because it's not just a simple matter of like, okay, well, we haven't done this yet, so we have to flesh it out. No, we're just adding cool stuff. Like, that's really what we want to do here. This is really what, unlimited power, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, that is the goal. I'm gonna do this one again because it's fun. We're gonna just show it one more time for the folks at home. Oh goodness. Here, let's up the ante. I'm gonna be really ridiculous. I might, maybe I'll die this time. I don't know. We're having fun. We're having fun, right? We're having fun out there, right? What could possibly go wrong? All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Let's get some of these guys. Yes, and all I'm using are the mines. Oh gosh, we might actually die. I need to, oh, there we go. Get some healing. Get some healing. Oh, good. We completed advanced combat. Nice. Look at that. Where did they all go? Where are you? I haven't even... What? That was just a couple of missiles. Oh, we need more missiles. Let me restock. There we go. Secondary is resupply. We can keep going. What? Where did you go? So good. Let's heal up a little bit. Don't go away. Hang on, hang on. There we go. Increase critical hit chance for a little bit. Nice. Let's just see what happens here. I haven't even tested this. I don't know if this is going to be effective or not. Here. Now you can't see me even. Here, we're just going to... Well, the turrets aren't supposed to see me. It's a possible bug. That's fine. Look at that damage! Not to me, to him. He dead. Stop!
This is getting ridiculous.
Stop hitting me! User error, I can't dodge his moves. Nice! Ow! Oh, please don't kill me, that would be so sad. Oh wait, we got him with the EMP. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Awesome. Again, that smoke screen that I'm using here, it makes it to where enemies from far away can still technically see me and they can be aggroed by me. But up close and personal, the enemies lose sight of me. Okay? So it's kind of like you're inversing the ability for the enemy to be aware of you. So generally speaking, they can see you when you're a long distance away. Here, a smoke screen makes it to where they can't see you when you're close. Gosh. Man, I really love the mine. Goodness. It's so cool. I probably shouldn't be next to this when it explodes. Can I not grab it? I thought I could. Oh, I can. That was weird. That was weird. Some sort of gimmick happened there. I'm not going to worry about it. Got a couple more tweaking things to do, but... Jeez. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed the stream today. I really do. I've had a lot of fun highlighting a pretty good portion of Titan's content coming up for you all. Let me just check and make sure there's not any other floating questions real quick. Oh, I got one more. Legendary cruise missile win. We added it. Well, it's not a cruise missile. I was gonna say we added ritual back in the incursions update, and it's a blast. It's not a cruise missile, but it separates into 10 missiles when you fire it. And if you get the radiant version, it can be up to 20. That's pretty neat. But legendary cruise missile, I don't know. Something about that seems maybe. I guess it's possible. I suppose it's possible. But guys, sincerely, thank you so much for coming out to the stream and asking all these great questions. It has truly been my pleasure, and I'm sure you can tell. Oh my gosh, it's been my pleasure highlighting all of these wonderful new ways that you can play around and mess with the game in ways that are just freaking fun, but also like are powerful, and you can probably see some synergy effects already. That's the aim of the game here. So if you guys just can't get enough of this, I'm going to be highlighting even more content for our Titans update a mere 3 days before its launch. That's going to be September 13th on Friday. It's going to be our next stream 2 weeks from now. Okay. And we're going to dive into the Leviathan. All right. So giving you a heads up, all of you here at the stream, that's what's going to happen in the next one. So you don't want to miss that. We're going to have a lot of fun highlighting just how these systems work and the variety inside as well. So you guys have all been awesome. I have all been Eric, your community ambassador, and Lee has been your special servant, cataloging all of your questions, your fantastic questions today. Lee, huge shout out to you. Absolute legend in the chats, collecting it all so that we can get through everything. Don't stop being awesome.
You finally lost the will to venture further. This moment was inevitable.
Oh, Hive. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. Don't stop being awesome, and we'll catch you in the next stream in 2 weeks' time. Mere days before the launch of all this healthy content. All right, guys. Toodles! For any of you who had a question and it didn't quite get answered, by all means, join us in our socials. We would love to have a conversation, help provide clarity, and support you in all things related to the EVERSPACE franchise. Don't be a stranger. I'm always on Discord. Always. And also don't miss your opportunity to get the art book 20% off right now on the Amazon US website. And we do have a deal for EVERSPACE 2 on Humble and on Xbox and on GOG right now. Check out those sales. You guys have been amazing. I do have to go.